Good morning from New York. Today I would like to discuss the rising and ebbing storm of love denied, healing the helplessness, voting as the real you in life and politics. Wow. That couldn't have been written for me. I'm too dumb. Yeah, we can have ideas in our head that we don't know how we got them. you know, but when we go to talk about it, it seems that we did understand it. You know. Anyhow, funny things about life. But when you have trauma in your life, some therapists call it this, in your early life, your developmental life especially as referred to as complex PTSD, um, which is developmental block, denied love. But you were also denied love, although not maybe directly from another person, um, when you experienced any trauma. But that creates a force inside that is connected to helplessness in relationship to your real needs and rightful expectations as a child. Um, the expectation to love, so that you can learn to share that love, and that you can grow healthy and be the real you. What blocks you from being the real you is helplessness around your needs and your feelings, and the inability to have your drama, to feel what you feel, and in a safe situation, um, and heal it. That went a little wrong. Mm. When your trauma in your life, your denied love, is blocked, and you're helpless to do anything about it, that's trauma. It's especially evident in CPTSD, but it also exists in the regular PTSD. And it's the roots of that. Actually, when they're describing that, they're talking about symptoms more from the trauma, so that they can refer to it as a disease. It's actually a normal reaction to adverse situations. Uh, but that creates a force inside you because the needs are still unresolved, and the helplessness around feeling them is blocking that resolution. And you truly were helpless at the time of your trauma. And so that creates a kind of storm inside you. It's like, trying to describe this. It's this surge that comes up with this message that this needs dealing with. This needs you to feel it, to have this drama, so that it doesn't have you. There's a push inside you, and it's fired by especially instinctive survival needs, and that push ebbs and flows, because the brain, at the time that it happened, you had to deal with an anxiety you couldn't fix, and that would have caused you great harm. You can't live in a constant anxiety. It's really rough, especially growing up. So the needs become symbolized into something. The impact is there, so there's something of the need there, but it's symbolized and generalized, so that you might see some kind of pathway to get this symbolic need met. Now, when you do, it provides a kind of trick, so that this push, this storm, is ebbs. You feel a calm, but that calm doesn't last. As you grow older, it becomes more and more problematic, because you don't have the energy to put into the act outs, and it starts to act in, and so all kinds of symptoms can occur as a result of that. Greater possibility of heart disease and cancer and all kinds of things. And these have been noted. They are making connections between CPTSD, adverse childhood experiences, and later development of disease. Well, this is why. You don't have the energy anymore to push that down, so the anxiety grows. If it's a big overload, you might find depression. So it's not to say that depression and some of these things can't be genetic or from another source, but most likely it's coming from trauma. You'll notice like with blood pressure medicines, there's too much force. It's the force is rising, the storm is rising, and your blood pressure's going up, and then you get to, you can kind of handle that when you're young, and push that down and keep functioning. But as you get older, then you get high blood pressure. The high blood pressure then becomes can get life-threatening over time. That's where we're really seeing the symptoms manifesting as disease. So that particular disease, and so you start off and you can use lesser and lower doses of pills, and then finally it keeps pushing and finding its way around that block, because it's a survival thing. You need to feel this. You need to resolve this. This can't be left undone, and it keeps pushing and pushing. So your body finds a way around that, and then you need two pills, two different kinds of drugs, maybe, and it gets more and more difficult to keep that blood pressure down. And of course, there's other elements to that. Inner city. The inner city impact on your health is also great. Those are actually forms of trauma: noise pollution, air pollution. So many things have a traumatic impact upon children, especially, and well, in the elderly. And the first in their development and so on. And later, because you're more fragile. Now, so it's ebbing and it's rising. This storm, and so it fluctuates like waves in the sea. It rises and falls, seemingly. Oh my! I hope this mic is not allowing that siren to distract you. I don't know why they can't. It's one point. Why don't they all set off at the same time? I don't know. Anyway, so well, there's probably a reason. Sorry to move off the main topic. That's just one of the ways in which poverty can affect us. Poor people live near the noise. If you're feeling frustrated, well, things are working against you when you're poor. They are. Mothers don't have time to be with the children. They don't have time to be attentive, nor the fathers, because of demands, unfair pay, living conditions that impact the poor. So that's why part of healing has to be political. So you're going to get, I'm going to get to that. That is on topic. Get to that in just a little while. So how do you heal the helplessness? Well, you heal the helplessness, you lower, the more you do that, the more you lower the storm. But it's going to rise, it's going to fall. And so you're going to need to deal with the things that are coming up at the time due to your circumstances and opportunities. And so this is this kind of, when you go into therapy, this is going to take a while. All right, but you're lowering the storm, the impacts of that push, the pressure of that demand that you deal with a denied love. You know, you feel when you get overstressed. You know, people say, "Well, I feel like I'm going crazy. It's too much stress," and that stress is that storm. Sometimes it's hidden, and you don't even know that the storm is rising, especially when you're young. You might not know that. Might not have the symptoms to tell you, but your body is being impacted, and your mind. So maybe the first thing that you'll experience in proper therapy is a realization of just how big a problem you're dealing with. So, right at first, you might feel like, you know, things aren't getting better, you know, and you might not like the picture that you see. That's why you need to make sure that this effort at calming the storm, of that unlearning of helplessness by reliving in safe conditions what you were forced to symbolize in the past and hide. But when you're hiding from your real feelings and your real needs, you're hiding from the real you. When the unreal you votes, that that means more or less that you're voting with the drama having you. You're not voting as the real you. You're not voting for your real needs. You know, you don't have either the time to think or the self-compassion or the creativity. All these take energy, and you're so wrapped up in calming the storm, with, you know, calming it not in a permanent way, but in a symbolic way, or, you know, a non-integrative way, that well, you can't really understand politics. You can't understand the impact of your vote, the necessity of your vote. In a democratic society, you know, your duty to vote. That's part of the love flow in democracy. You have to vote. But when you vote, are you really voting for what you truly need and what is best for you not in just the short run, but in the long run, and what's best for your children? If you're in that storm, well, you're hurting. You know, under that pressure, you're hurting. You're more selfish, more self-concerned, more into any immediate relief. And that can be a real problem when you go in to vote. So, voting as the real you is also voting with a greater love. And so having a process that helps you to slowly unlearn helplessness and kick in that greater ability to love and be loved. That's very, very essential. Voting with the real you is important in life, not just in politics. Every day, you make decisions, you make votes to supposedly help yourself and those around you. You make those decisions every day, not just in the ballot box. So, voting the real you is voting a greater love. And when you're choosing candidates, people that are offering a quick fix, people that are offering a more selfish view, that's the wrong choice. That's the wrong candidate. And that's the problem. If the population has a lot of people caught in their drama, and they're stirred up and they go vote, the wrong people go into government, and you end up with a society in which the gap between the rich and the poor begins to be greater and greater. And you're looking at a declining middle class, which is how democracy survives, is a thriving middle class. You're getting rid of that comfort zone in society. It's being eroded. Another nation wanted to attack your democracy. What they would do is stir up people that whose drama has them. People that are angry and afraid and seeking a powerful person to take over. Be my daddy. I don't care. Be my daddy and do things by force and do it quick. And I'll give you all the power. Well, what does that say? These are people that didn't have parents that were as loving as they needed them to be for whatever reasons, and not to lay fault on them, but for whatever reasons, their own pain or the circumstances of their poverty. I'd say their own pain is the most impacting thing, probably. The poverty plays a part. Can. So, when you're trying to destroy somebody's democracy, you're going to try to get people to vote for someone who says they are going to take care of all your problems. Watch me, I'm going to fix this. You're more prey to a con, because frankly only a con artist offers that kind of thing, and it's usually because they're hurting and they're all about themselves and not about you. So you're voting against your own interests. Well, what can you do about that? Well, you have to increase your ability to love in objective, creative, and compassionate ways. And developing these skills is very important in the process of lowering the actual force behind the storm. And lowers overall the forcefulness of that's behind that storm. When you're in that kind of dramatic storm, it's because you're hurting. So your drama has you, in other words. So you look right now in the United States, we've had an attack by a sick nation, Russia and China, possibly, mostly Russia. An attack where from a country that has basically a dictatorial kind of rule, and which is greedy. Greed's part of that, because you're looking for symbolic need. Enough is never enough, because there's no satiation point. So you're looking at countries that want to take over other countries instead of having a more loving, lucrative trade. They want to take over. And part of the reason they want to is because their government is sick. So there's plenty of evidence that Russians interfered in our elections. And who were they cheering about? Who did they cheer when he was elected? The Russians were getting together. Putin was getting together with all his cronies, and they were cheering the election of Trump. Yeah, they wanted us to be more like them, and to allow, in their mind, a destabilization of our force against them and their ambitions. So you have that going on. Why is there so much money going to Trump? That's internal. That's the rich who don't really care about those who don't really care about the poor or democracy, that want to run the country outright and take all they can at the expense of you. And they're piling the money on, And but also, you've got those who the drama has them, and they're reaching into their pockets and putting the money out. So how do you deal with that? Well, for one thing, you don't vote for Trump, and you reach into your pocket, even though you're a saner person. You're not fooled, and you're voting for the most empathetic of the two candidates. But you tend to be calmer, right? So you're not desperate. So you're not reaching deep into your pocket. But we need to support the Democratic Party right now. Otherwise, the Russians will have won again. And they don't have our best interests at heart. They don't have democracy's best interests at heart. We give all the excuses that they want. Ukraine was a peaceful country. It was a democratic country. And they were willing to blow up hospitals and all kinds of things. Now, when you're looking at Gaza and you're going to criticize President Biden, he really, can't tell Israel what to do. He can influence them. And he has to make sure that he retains them as an ally in the Middle East, because if they go, then that strengthens the hand of forces like China and Russia and other forms of dictatorship, a lot of it religious. So, you have to support Israel, but you also have to try and get them to not be so punishing in their reaction to that terrible attack they had. And this is an example of the storm. You don't have the people on one side and the other side with a love flow. You're having a storm of fear and hate, defensiveness. So you've got to improve that love flow. So how do you deal with Gaza? Well, you go in with force, protecting yourselves, but you're making sure that aid is going to the people who are suffering there. Number one. And number two, you try to bring people to reason diplomatically. And all of that Biden is trying to do. He is, within the constraints. He didn't want to act like a dictator and pass laws about the border on his, put in place executive orders. And so he's criticized for that, because he didn't want to be a dictator. He had a bipartisan bill going, and then Trump says to his bought Congress, hey, that'll hurt my re-election. And you're for giving all the money to the rich, because the people in this, suffering from their drama and wanting power and hope dope, the idea that, if you can go and walk roughshod over the poor, that gives you an opportunity to do the same thing and get all that money for you. And so they went along with him. It's despicable. And so this is a kind of political storm, and it's in the rise and on the rise. Its intensity is great right now. So if you love yourself, if you love this country, if you love democracy, vote as the philosophy of this channel tells you, with empathy and awareness, with creativity, objectivity, and compassion. Look at it. Take the time. Calm yourself. And let the real you be more expressed when you go to vote. And may it encourage you. May these actions encourage you to vote and do your duty. It's a time to stand up. Another thing that you see is blaming institutions that are working and that are in the way of that kind of dictatorial power. The EPA, the FBI, the CIA, and give all the power to one guy. And that is actually in the plans of the Republican Party right now. It is not safe at this time to vote Republican, and that's sad. But you just can't. Vote for the more empathetic people. Now it's getting 35 minutes, so this was a little rambling, and you can see my angst at times when I'm hearing the traffic noise outside. Hopefully this mic is not picking up all of that, and that you were able to hear what I had to say. These are complex subjects. We're going to do more Zooms in the future. And those who subscribe to the channel, maybe you disagree with me, that's fine, but who believe in greater empathy and awareness in communication will be invited to be in those Zooms and express their opinions, and or into the prelude of the Zoom, which is not published. You can be in that and influence what's going to be talked about, and in the recorded section. So this is your channel. Just subscribe. It really helps the channel. And share the posts, or the posts. I'm so old school. Share the videos that you like, and comment. We are hoping to have many professionals in many areas eventually coming to the channel, but the channel has to be noticed enough. It has to have enough subscribers and enough impact. It's got to stand out, So please help us to achieve that. Our team, which I refer to as all of our supporters of the channel, as those guys, and we, those guys, we want to keep you thinking and keep you aiming for greater empathy and awareness in intelligent ways. So, and that's what I call a rational mystic, someone who can go inside themselves and aid their own healing. So, may the road rise to meet you, and please remember what the great physicist Carl Sagan said. We, intelligent life around the universe, as he meant, are the universe knowing itself. So you're a wonder walking, or sitting, or laying down. You're a wonder. And so is everyone you meet. Each one precious, and full of the potential to give and receive love. The word that means all of this, and I don't know, well, I'd say word, the greeting that, and the goodbye used in India that means all of this, is namaste. So make a great day today, or a better day today. You know you can. And namaste.